All right, Shalom Israel, Shalom, Shalom, brother Naquam.
Shalom, shalom, brother Raya.
Coming back at you with these precepts in another Monday Night Fire, giving, of course, our honor and our glory to Yahweh by Shema Mashiach wa Malak Bashai. Double honors to the elect elders of the house of David that's been in this truth for decades and decades before us, patiently waiting and laboring for the second coming of Hamashiach wa Malak Bashai. A hearty, mighty Shalom to all of the mighty men who are out there on the highways and byways, pushing this truth, magnifying the ministry, presenting their bodies as a living sacrifice, and enduring all things for the elect's sake. Shalom to those men. Shalom to the men that may not be out there on the highways and byways as of yet, but they're working on it. They're getting built up in the spirit. They're praying, they're fasting, they're studying, they're being diligent and abounding in the work of the Lord. Shalom, shalom. Shalom to the Akwaf out there moving in the spirit of our righteous foremothers. Shalom to the ancient men, your children, the elect, the visceral scattered abroad throughout the four corners of the earth, and everybody tuning in live. Shalom, shalom.
Khan, shalom, Israel, to everybody reading, praying, and fasting, making their body living sacrifice, and most are willing, continuously enduring unto the end.
God, and picking right back up where we left off a few Monday nights ago through the spirit of poverty. Every parable ever. So most I will, and we can dive into many parables. Again, there are parables chiefly that Yahweh Shah spoke of in the Gospels. You have parables in the Old Testament, man. You have parables in the book of Numbers, Ezekiel. So we could try to most I will, and we're gonna attempt through the spirit of poverty to do this series and touch on every parable ever, most I willing, and reveal these things that have been kept secret from the foundation of the world, as it is written. So we're going to touch on the widow and the unjust judge. You can read about in Luke the 18th chapter, and the Pharisee and the publican that is also in that same chapter. And if time permits, if the spirit allows us, then we're going to touch on the third parable. And these parables that we read, they're not just a good story. A lot of people say, well, I like the story of Noah and the ark. I like the story of Jonah and the well. I like the story of the water being turned into wine. These aren't stories, man. Right? These are actual parables that have a hidden message that you have to take and apply to your life, man. Or it applies to what's coming on the earth. It applies to us as a people, or it applies to the judgment that Yahweh Bashir Shah is going to do on the earth. So don't read these parables as I like the story of the Good Samaritan, but you don't know what the hell is going on about it, man. How that should impact and change how you move in the land of the living. So when we go through these parables, again, you have to receive the instruction that the Most High is putting forth through the parable and not just chalk it up as a good story, man. You got it, King.
Khan, that's right. And I wanted to get on Mark chapter 4 and verse 33. It says, "And with many such parables spake he the word unto them, as they were able to hear it. But without a parable spake he not unto them. And when they were alone, he expounded all things to his disciples." Right? So the Lord deals with parables. Why? Because this word is not for everybody. It's only for the elect. So as we go inside of these parables and we dive into it through the spirit, you have to understand how this is a secret. So as we break these things down through the spirit and power, how about Shemi Awashah, right? That's a blessing to even be able to hear these things. Right, you got it. You on mute, King.
This is Luke chapter 18 and verse 1. And he spake a parable unto them to this end that men ought always to pray and not faint. So, in this parable, Yahweh Shah, he gave you the understanding of this parable. Then he spoke the parable. Sometimes Yahweh Shah will give the parable and then he will give the sense. He's telling you right now, this parable is about that men ought always to pray and not faint, huh? Right? Salakia. Right. I think brother said, yeah, they say your mic is kind of low, King. I could hear you, but I don't know if everybody else can hear you as loud as I can. So I don't know.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah, you
pretty
might.
sure most I will.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah. All right. It reads, and he spake a parable unto them to this end that men ought always to pray and not faint. And that's true, man. If you're not praying, then you slowly disconnect from Yahweh Bashmi Abishah. And then if you're not praying, you're gonna feel it, man. You're gonna feel that disconnect. You're gonna feel that absence of the Holy Spirit. You're gonna find yourself backpedaling more and more and more into the world, man. You're gonna find yourself more on social media, find yourself more thinking about women and wine and folly of the world. You're gonna find yourself thinking about what this world has to offer. You're gonna slowly stop reading. Because what comes with not praying is also not reading, not fasting. You're gonna stop studying about the fault because you're not reading, and then you're just gonna faint. And when you faint, you fall back into darkness, man. Right? I want to get a quick precept real quick about that. Men, it's like the Lord said, men ought always to pray. It's like I'll use this, right, and not faint. Let's go to Psalms chapter 119. Right, quick precept. Right, 119 and 164. Right, Psalms chapter 119 and 164. It reads, 7 times a day do I praise thee because of thy righteous judgments. So that means always you stand in prayer, right? And prayer, again, you can make a petition to the Most High, right? When you request certain things, maybe wisdom, mercy, maybe you're praying for someone else, their health or knowledge and understanding, right? You can also make supplications to Yahweh Bashmi Yahushua. You can also thank and praise Yahweh Bashmi Yahushua, right? There are many avenues down the road of prayer that man has to know how to go through, man. And again, if you're not praying, you're just asking to fall out the truth. You're committing what the Lord calls, or what it's like, not what the Lord calls, but it's in the spirit of the Lord, spiritual suicide, man. The Lord said, pour not upon yourselves destruction with the work of your own hands. That's a suicide method right there. You're essentially killing the new man, and you're just asking for the old man to come back on the earth, right? You got it, King.
Khan, that's right. That's our connection to the Most High, right? Via prayer. We read Nehemiah, the first chapter, various other precepts of our fathers praying in times of trouble, right? Judith, the fourth chapter, right? That's how the Most High saved us out of tribulation, right? By us praying, right? This First Timothy chapter 2, right? In verse, I'm going to start at number 8. It's First Timothy chapter 2 and verse 8. It says, I will therefore that men pray everywhere. So, I mean, you don't want to just limit yourself to praying when you get home, or just praying when you wake up, or praying when you eat. You want to pray everywhere, all times of the day, 24/7. It says, I will therefore that men pray everywhere, lifting up holy hands without wrath and doubting. And a lot of men doubt when they pray. I don't know if the Most High can do this. I don't know if the Most High is going to grant me this. I don't know if the Lord is really listening. If you're doubting, you're in a spirit of not having confidence. And the Most High deals heavily with confidence, right? The Lord, you have to have faith when you come to the Most High, right? Hebrews, the 11th chapter. And if you have faith and you believe, right, the Most High never left anybody confounded or to the wayside. That's why when you pray all times of the day, every day, you have to pray without wrath and without doubting.
Con. And I want to get this in I had another James the fifth chapter, right? This is James chapter 5 and verse 16. Confess your faults one to another and pray one for another, that ye may be healed. The effectual fervent prayer of a righteous man availeth much. So when you're fervent, it means you're on fire, right? You're burning. You don't just pray just one time. And that's what this parable is about to go into, man. You know? You don't just pray, okay, you ask for wisdom, Lord, can I please? Can you think you could try to give me some wisdom whenever you have a minute? Thanks, Lord. I'll see you in 7 days. Do you think that the Most High is going to give you wisdom? You think you got a minute? Lord, a little old, I'm just down here and I hope you kind of hear what I got to say. Right? Lord, do you hear me? You kind of clear your throat, right? You're getting real, weak and carnal, man. You have to have a fervent prayer life in this thing. That's what certain brothers have prayer schedules, man. Right there, they say, look, okay, at this time, I'm gonna say these three prayers, these two in the Hebrew. Maybe I'm gonna say this one. At this time, I'm gonna say these prayers. Maybe this one in the Hebrew and this one here. I'm gonna say these prayers at this time. When I do this, I'm gonna pray here. Right? Some brothers they know at these plantations, you gotta pray, man. You know, you gotta find that spot, man. Every brother got that spot at the plantation, or most brothers, if you can. You can kind of duck off and kind of pray, man. You know, you got to kind of maybe have to go to the car, your lunch break or something. You have to have a fervent prayer life, and it avails much, man. It's a weighty thing, or a weighty matter, and a weighty action. Verse 17. Elias, meaning Elijah, was a man subject to like passions as we are. Meaning he dealt with the same sufferings that we deal with, right? And he prayed earnestly that it might not rain. And it rained not on the earth by the space of 3 years and 6 months, man. So he prayed for a drought that Israel can see the fear of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. And for 3.5 years, the Most High had no rain, man. Because he didn't pray one time. Elijah didn't say, Lord, you think, I think I got something I want to say. Let me hold on, let me get some water. All right, then spent around 3 times and just whispered, man. And he would have had to be doing this every day, multiple times a day, all day. A lot of brothers, you know, you want things from Yahweh Shai, and it may not be wicked things, man. It can be sincere spiritual things, and you're wondering why you're not getting it, man. Because you don't have an earnest prayer life, man. You pray here and there, and you're praying, and you're thinking about the big football game. You're thinking about a woman when you're praying. You're stuttering over your words. You forgot what you said. Oh Lord, what did I say again? All right, scratch that, Lord. Well, what about this? Right? You take out your bald, wet sheet of paper you probably had, and you can't read what's going on. Lord, give me a second, and you put it back in your pocket with your sneezy, snotty damn tissue, man. You know, then you just get up because your knees hurt. You say, I've been down here too long. That's a wicked prayer life right there. That's why things don't befall you the way you think they should befall you. Although you're asking Yahweh Shai, Shai, you're not going about it in the most fervent, righteous, and godly manner. Right? One more, James 5 and 18. And he prayed again, and the heaven gave rain, and the earth brought forth her fruit. Wow. You see that? So you have to pray earnestly that the heaven may give her rain, man. The blessings, the wisdom, the knowledge, understanding. And although that was actual rain, the Most High, he's not bound just to give man rain. The Most High can give man whatever the Most High decides to give man. But you have to have faith in your prayer and be consistent and fervent in your prayer that Yahweh Bashmel Shai may see you, man, and try you and understand your heart. Right? You got it.
Khan is right. And I wanted to get the book of Acts chapter 16, right? In verse, I'm gonna start at 23. It's the book of Acts chapter 15 and verse 23. And when they had laid many stripes upon them, they cast them into prison, charging the jailer to keep them safely, who having received such a charge, thrust them into the inner prison, and made their feet fast in the stocks. And at midnight, Paul and Silas prayed. Right? So not only did they lock them up, but they put their feet in the stocks, meaning they locked them up to where they couldn't move. Right? Those ancient stocks are where they put your head through. Or like they'll treat a ox or something, man. Stick their head through the yoke and they can't move. Right? It's like they're in prison. Right? People will throw fruit or they'll laugh at you, or it's a laughing stock. Right? They had locked them up. And at midnight, Paul and Silas prayed and sang praises unto Yahweh. So in the midst of darkness, in the middle of the night, where seemingly there was no hope, there was nobody with them, it seemed like they were by themselves, and midnight is spiritual. It's when the light isn't out. Right? So in the midst of darkness, it says Paul and Silas prayed. And a lot of people won't be praying in that situation. They'll be scared. They'll be thinking it's over and done with. The Most High is done with them. And sang praises unto Yahweh. And the prison heard them. And suddenly there was a great earthquake, so that the foundation of the prison was shaken. So it didn't get shaken by earthquake, man, out of nowhere. It got shaken because of what? Because of prayer. And prayer can do those things, man. Right? You praying to the Most High can have the earthquake, right? On a spiritual level. Right? And this happened on a physical level. And immediately all the doors were open and everyone's bands were loosened. And the keeper of the prison awaked out of his sleep and seeing the prison doors open. And you got to look at this, man. I mean, this is literally a miracle. They're praying in the darkness of night. The Most High had an earthquake. All the doors open, and now they're free, man. And that's spiritual when we pray, because that's the same exact parable that we're going into. Because the Lord says, "Show he find faith on earth," meaning in the darkness of night, when all hell was breaking loose, and the mountains are being moved in World War III, Jacob's trouble, and vengeance upon the earth. Who's going to have that faith to be delivered? And the keepers of the prison awaked out of his sleep, and seeing the prison doors open, he drew out a sword and would have killed himself, supposing that the prisoners had been fled. Right, you got it, Ken.
Yeah, another quick precept, real quick, in Colossians, the fourth chapter, too, man. To add to that, so prayer, like brothers are going into this, prayer is very important, man. Right? Prayer is pivotal if you want to remain rooted in the land of the living, man. Right? This is Colossians, I believe, on 4 and 11. I'll start at 11. Right? And Jesus, who is called Justice, who are of the circumcision, these only are my fellow workers into the kingdom of the Most High, which have been a comfort unto me. Right? Because everybody didn't labor, with the Apostle Paul. Some men fell out, some men, they went back in the world. Verse 12, here's the point. Epaphras, which is one of you, right? Because he labored with the church of Colossus, a servant of Hamashiach, saluteth you, always laboring fervently for you in prayers, that ye may stand perfect and complete in all the will of the Most High. For I bear him record that he hath a great zeal for you, and them that are in Laodicea, and them in Hierapolis. So this brother Epaphras, you read about him not just here, but in other accounts in the New Testament. But one of this brother's mighty gifts is that he labored fervently. And it didn't say he labored fervently because he taught for 8 hours straight. It didn't say he labored fervently because he knew 10,000 precepts. It didn't say he labored fervently because he carried all of this water and signs. And no, he labored fervently in prayers, man. So his majority of his time, I'm led to believe maybe 30% of his day, he was just praying for these churches, man, all day, praying that they were perfect and they could be complete in all the will of the Most High, meaning that there was no slothfulness, there was no evil spirits, they would be strong, full of faith. So this guy, he didn't have time to really do, what he wanted to do, man. If this guy wanted to, fly a kite and he wasn't flying a kite, if this guy liked to go sailing on the sea, he wasn't doing it. His whole time was spent laboring fervently in prayers, man. And the Apostle Paul knew about this brother. So brothers, well, I don't know what to do in this truth. I don't know. I'm not a teacher. I don't know what I should do. Well, everybody could labor fervently in prayer. You don't have to, you don't have to know the book of Revelation in and out, man. And all of the hidden Hebrew of Song of Solomon to labor fervently for the churches. And his brother had a great zeal for that. In verse 13, let me read that again. For I bear him record. Right? So Paul is a witness to this, that he hath a great zeal for you. So you can have a great zeal to see your brother increase, man. To see evil spirits removed from the church, from the congregation, from the body. And a lot of people, man, a lot of these Christians, they got what they call prayer warriors, man. These are Christians. And they're wickedly zealous, man. Because they have prayer night, man. Wednesday night is prayer night at 9 p.m. Then they got women prayer warriors, man. And they be in there thinking the Most High is hearing their prayer. Although the Most High is not, pursuing the Proverbs 28 and 9 and many other precepts. But the point is, these heathen, even if they're Israelites, a lot of them, they go through great lengths of zeal for wickedness, man, for prayer. And they really out, they fire on the left hand side is brighter than a lot of brothers fire on the right hand side, man. Because the word zeal means fire, right? It means passion. And you have to have a great zeal to pray for the churches, man. Right? And a lot of these brothers that Paul labored with, Slakia, I don't know what I just did, but they had different gifts and different spirits. And you want to have that spirit of Epaphras, right? But you got it, King.
That's a fire account. Because that brother was on fire. And you need to be on fire with prayer. We all need to step up our prayer. You can never pray enough. Right? You can never pray enough. There's no such thing as praying too much. If you think you're praying too much, you got to check that spirit and that demon. Right? Because the spirit itself is going to make intercessions for you. Right? With things that you need. You may feel like you need to pray more wisdom, but you really need to give more arms, right? Or more brotherly love. Right? And it's never enough prayer because you're always lacking into the perfect day where the Lord puts a crown upon your head. Right? This Nehemiah chapter 1 and verse number 5. Right? Nehemiah chapter 1 and verse 5. It says, and I said, and said, I beseech thee, O Yahweh, God of heaven, the great and terrible God that keepeth covenant and mercy for them that love him and observe his commandments. Let thine ear now be attentive and thine eyes open, that thou mayest hear the prayer of thy servant, which I pray before thee now, day and night. So Nehemiah said not only did he pray, but he prayed day and night. Or you don't just pray when you wake up, and that's the end all be all. Right? You don't just pray, at nighttime. Right? You pray day and you pray at night. It says, for the children of Israel, thy servants, and confess the sins of the children of Israel, which we have sinned against thee. Both I and my father house have sinned. Jump to verse 11. O Yahweh, I beseech thee, let now thine ear be attentive to the prayer of thy servant and to the prayer of thy servants who desire to fear thy name and prosper. I pray thee. And that's fire because when Nehemiah was praying, he asked the Most High to hear his prayer before he dived into prayer. That's in Sirach chapter 33, right? And verse 4 all the way down. The Lord said, prepare what thou say, prepare what thou prayest, and thou shalt be heard. Paraphrasing greatly. So you don't want to just jump into prayer and start freestyling it. Why? Because you'll find yourself repeating yourself. You'll find yourself praying for vanity. You'll find yourself drifting away, getting side contract, right? You find yourself slipping into a trance or God forbid, a demon hopping on you, right? You find yourself just going off. That's why the Lord said, prepare what to say, right? Even in a carnal world, you don't just come before a judge and you don't know what you're going to say. Or you're in a so-called interview, you come before your so-called manager. You don't just wing it, right? You have something prepared, what you're going to go into, a portfolio, right? You may have a resume, something that you have prepared, right? An open line or whatever the case may be, so that you're more structured as you come into this atmosphere. The Lord said, prepare what to say, and so thou shalt be heard, and bind up instruction, and then make answer. Meaning you're not just coming before somebody on a low level, you're coming before the Most High. And the Most High could either hear your prayers and grant it, or it could be an abomination to his sight, your prayer. So you got to really check the spirit you're in, because you're going to be offering up a bad sacrifice. I want to get one more, King. Psalms chapter 4. You could offer up a bad sacrifice unto the Lord upon your bed. Right? This is Psalms chapter 4. Right? And we could just start, at like verse 3 or so. It says, but know the Lord, that the Lord have set apart him that is godly for himself. The Lord will hear when I call unto him. Why? Because David's hands were clean. David prepared what to say. David was righteous. The Lord will answer when he calls. Stand in awe, sin not, commune with your own heart upon your bed, and be still. Offer the sacrifices of righteousness. Put your trust in the Lord. right? So you have to offer up the sacrifices of righteousness. You know, you could have slang talk, be forgetful, not really be serious. All of these are sacrifices unto death and wickedness as you pray unto the Most High. But you got it.
Yeah, that's right, man. And it is an offering. That's why I tell you that in Psalms 141 to add to that, that I would lift up my hands as the evening sacrifice, man. So you can't be up there, you know, when you read about the men that did the incense offerings, right? They drop, you can't drop the incense, and you know, you're unprepared, your garment is defiled, and you're in the temple and you're sweating and everything's out of order, man. So that's an excellent point, that this is indeed a offering. And if you want to see how men get judged for mishandling the offerings, read about Nadab and Abihu, man, which men were slain because they offered strange fire to Yahweh Shemi Awashai, man. Right? This is I want to get a quick precept. This is Psalms 119 and verse 62. Right? Start at 61. The bands of the wicked have robbed me, but I have not forgotten thy law. Right? But in these armies of these heathen, right? But we're still going to uphold the law. At midnight, I will rise to give thanks unto thee because of thy righteous judgments. And a lot of this is at midnight, man. So one account, David said in Psalms 55 and 17, if I'm not mistaken, evening, morning, and noon will I pray to the Most High. Psalms 5, he said, I will rise up early and pray to the Most High. We just read at Psalms 119, the same chapter, and verse 164, he said 7 times a day. Now he's saying at midnight, man. A lot of brothers wake up in the middle of the night, you go get you a cold bottle of water, man. You might scroll on your phone, check your messages. You know, the Lord woke you up. Maybe you tossed and turn, and maybe you had a dream or a nightmare, or the damn neighbor cat woke you up, whatever, man. Whatever woke you up in the middle of the night, do you immediately get out the bed and thank Yahweh Shemi Shai because of his righteous judgments, man? That was on David's mind. He said at midnight, I got these are righteous judgments of the Most High. And he got up, he started praising the Most High and giving him thanks, man. You know, not that he had TikTok, but a lot of brothers, man, they'll get up in the morning, see what the hell's going on TikTok real quick, man. You know you got to pray, but let me check Facebook real quick. Right? Then you scrolling for 3 hours. I'll just pray at the hour of prayer. I'll just sit in the bed and I'll just wait, man. Right? Then I didn't have time. Well, brother, that there is no better time than any time to pray to Yahweh Shemi Awashai because of the righteous judgments. I want to get another one real quick in Ecclesiasticus, man. So a lot of brothers, man, are guilty of that, right? This is Sirach chapter 7 and verse 10, right? Ecclesiasticus chapter 7 and 10. Be not faint. Actually, I'm going to start at verse 10. I'm going to start at 9, right? Because it goes into that. Say not, the Most High will look upon the multitude of my oblations. When I offer to the Most High, he will accept it. So don't think the Most High is going to deal with any sacrifice, man. Right? The Most High said obedience is better than sacrifice. Right? The Lord doesn't just take any old offering, man. Every oblation or offering to the Most High, in order for it to be accepted, it has to be without spot and without blemish. And you can't be the brother known for just bringing offerings because you're disobedient. Who wants 1,000 offerings because of 1,000 acts of disobedience, man? That doesn't make any sense. That's like you're boasting of how many ticket fines that you pay. I paid 10,000 ticket fines. Here's all of my offerings that I paid, man. I'm so on fire. Well, brother, stop speeding, brother. Right? Stop them doing illegal U-turns. You won't have to do these offerings, man. You won't have to do these sacrifices. Just be obedient. Nobody cares that you paid $1,000 in fines, man. Boasting to the judge. He doesn't care about that. He wants you to be obedient to the law. So the Lord doesn't care about the multitude of oblations. In verse 10, be not faint-hearted when thou makest thy prayer, and neglect not to give alms. Right? If you can, pray aloud, man. Right? You might be at the workplace. You might, might be something going on. You're not always able to pray aloud, but hey, guess what? Pray aloud if you can, man. And don't be faint-hearted, like I brought up that example earlier, man. Right? You're blowing your nose and you're whispering and you're shaking and Lord, I don't know if you're able to do this one, Lord. No, I don't know, Lord. If I know you have a lot going on, you gotta control the sun and the moon and the stars and all flesh. I don't know, Lord, if little old me, little old, so and so, if I'm worthy to even be heard. Just forget about it, Lord. Slack you for wasting your time. You just get back up and drift off into darkness, man. Right? Confidence goes into your prayer, like the brother was saying earlier, man. In righteousness. It says, and neglect not to give alms. So when you're praying to the Most High, you have to be confident, man. When lawyers and people deal with these matters before the judge, they're confident in these things, man. Right? So you want to have that same spirit of confidence when you go before Yahweh Shema Shah. And don't be faint-hearted, man. That's where faith comes in. You have to believe that what you're praying for, let me get one more real quick. You have to believe that what you're praying for is going to be heard, man. Right? This is Mark, right? Quick precept, Mark chapter 11 and 23, right? Mark chapter 11, and I'll start at 22. And Yahweh answering saith unto them, have faith in the Most High. For verily I say unto you, that whosoever shall say unto this mountain, be thou removed, and be thou cast into the sea, and shall not doubt in his heart, but shall believe that those things which he saith shall come to pass, he shall have whatsoever he saith. Therefore I say unto you, what things soever ye desire when ye pray, believe that ye receive them, and ye shall have them. Huh? And you might be needing a job, man. I don't know, Lord. I'm not qualified. I don't even know why I'm praying before you. Lord, just do what you think, right? Just give it your best shot for me out there. Well, you're not going to get that job, man. You're trying to get that apartment or that house, man. Trying to take care of your family. Lord, well, here's I'm in a jam. The Lord knows you're in a jam, man. Just go before Yahweh Shema Shai, man. And pray and believe. And if you pray and believe, you're going to get it. It's not if, I don't know if I'm going to get it. It says, what things soever ye desire when ye pray, here's a stipulation. Believe that ye receive them, and ye shall have them. You got it, King.
Con, that's right. But I'm going to get the book of Judith, chapter 8, and verse number 30. But then that goes into the precept you call earlier in James, the 5th chapter, because the prayer of a righteous man availeth much. Right? You don't want anybody just praying for you, right? And there's strength in prayer, man. Just like it's strength in war, it's strength in numbers, it's strength in prayer. Right? A 3-chord is not easily broken, like it says in Ecclesiastes, the 4th chapter. Right? This is the book of Judith, chapter 8 and verse 30. But the people were very thirsty, and compelled us to do unto them as we have spoken, and to bring in upon ourselves which we have not break. Therefore now pray thou for us, because thou art a godly woman. Right? And she was virtuous, mighty, strong, pure. And when you have these attributes, your prayer is going to shoot up, like it says in Sirach, the 35th chapter. Right? Shoot up before the Most High, because it's pure. Right? But if you have all of these spirits, these demons, these doubts, right? You don't have faith, you're not moving in confidence, right? Your prayer is not going to do anything. Your prayer is not going to be heard, right? It says, and the Lord will send us rain to fill our cisterns, and we shall faint no more. Then said Judith unto them, hear me, and I will do a thing which shall go throughout all generations to the children of our nation. Right? So that just goes to show you that even men are coming to a woman. So it doesn't matter who prays for you. Right? Your wife could pray for you. Your children can pray for you. You could pray for your wife. Right? We all come together in prayer. But the prayer of the pure and the righteous and the innocent is going to come before the Lord. Right? I want to get the book of Job, chapter 42 and verse 7. Because the Lord's anger was waxed hot against Job's friends. And the Lord could have smote him and could have killed him. But Job's prayer and its purity and righteousness withdrew back the anger of the Most High. Right, this is Job chapter 42 and verse number 7. I'm gonna start at 6. Wherefore I abhorred myself and repent in dust and ashes. And it was so that after the Lord had spoken these words unto Job, that the Lord said to Eliphaz the Temanite, my wrath is kindled against thee and against thy two friends. And when the Lord wrath get kindled, it's never a bluff. Right? He's not your uncle, man. The Lord will smite you, destroy you, give you over to God knows what. It says, for ye have not spoken of me the thing that is right as my servant Job hath. Therefore, take unto you now 7 bullocks and 7 rams, and go before my servant Job, and offer up for yourselves a burnt offering. So the Lord didn't accept their offering unless they went through Job. And the Most High may not respect you or have mercy unto you until you cleanse yourself. You understand, and do certain things to be able to be accepted in His sight. And my servant Job shall pray for you. For him I will accept. So if it wasn't for Job, I mean, where would these men be at? They would have had no intercessor, for righteousness to be able to help them out in the time of their need. Look at Judith, intercessor, right? Look at James, the prayer of the elders in the church, right? Look at Job, right? All of these are perfect accounts of how somebody through prayer can save your life, save your situation. Stay his hand, Lord, right? Have mercy upon him, Most High, right? All of these things the Most High hears the prayer of the just. It says, pray for you, and him will I accept, lest I deal with you after your folly, and that ye have not spoken of me the thing which is right, like my servant Job. So don't neglect to pray together as well. Right? Everybody that's married should be praying with their wives. Right? Everybody that has children should be praying with their children. Right? You don't want to bang on the wall and say it's bedtime. Right? While you in the next room praying. Right? Or you say through the vents, right, in the middle of the night, did you pray? And then all you hear is a voice vaguely saying, yeah. Right? You want to make sure that you're praying with your household. Everybody's in order. You want to be on your knees, right? Put your face down, face the east. Or all of these things are the accounts, the statutes, and the commandments that the Lord receives, you understand, perfect in a perfect ordinance to pray before.
Con. And this is vital, man. It's vital to go over these parables because they cover so much, right? They cover so much, and they're practical because this is something that you can practice every day in this truth, man. You can't practice the 7 heads and 10 horns. That's not necessarily practical knowledge. You can't practice the 70 weeks of the book of Daniel, right? You can't practice certain things. This is practical knowledge. When you know something and then you practice what you have learned in your life to better yourself, to better your how you serve Yahweh Shai, and to better how you deal with your brother, you know? So going back to Luke chapter 18 and verse 1, and he spake, and Yahweh Shai would pray all night, man. He would depart in the mountain and he would pray all night, man. A lot of brothers, you can't even stand being down on the ground too long, man. I've been down here too long. I got so much I got to do. I'm busy. I get to the Lord when I feel like getting to the Lord, man. While I'm down here, my knees hurt, man. A lot of people rush through their prayers too, man. Like they do in Christianity. God is good, God is great. Let us thank him for this food. Then they start eating pork, man. Where is it at in the scriptures? You say 8 words. Not saying your prayer has to be 1,000 words, but those prayers aren't sincere, man. So you got to really get into this thing. And you can write your own prayers out, man. Or you can say some prayers in the Hebrew. There are prayers already pre-written for you in the scriptures, man. That a lot of our forefathers did in Daniel, Nehemiah, and many other accounts, man. You can say those prayers. So you don't have to sit there, I don't know where to start. You got the Lord's Prayer, man. In Matthew the 6th chapter. 9 on down. So this is Luke 18 and 1. And he spake a parable unto them to this end that men ought always to pray and not faint. Verse 2, saying, there was in a city a judge which feared not the Most High, neither regarded man. And there was a widow in that city, and she came unto him, saying, Avenge me of mine adversary. And he would not for a while, but afterward he said within himself, Though I fear not God, nor regard man. And this is really how the so-called white man thinks. You got Israelites that think like this too, but they don't fear God, nor regard man. You know, they kind of do what they want to do, man. I saw this one quick video, Salaki, about this judge, this Eve, even though she was going off, she was in there, she was upset, she was in prison, she kind of said something. He's like 30 days. She was like, well, so what? He said 60 days. Then he said 90 days. And they keep upping up your damn charge, man. They don't fear the Most High or fear man. Now you're doing 3 years. You got anything else you want to say? Well, I just wanted 5 years. Just killing you out there. They don't fear God, or they don't even care about what man has to deal with, man. So you have judges like this, man. You have real situations like this. You have real life widows among the so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native American community, man. Maybe a single mother, maybe their son got shot, or a lot of these lawsuits against the police department. These Eves be winning, man, because they got to go before these judges, and you killed their son, and they have to get them $75 million case reward for it. And they say, avenge me my adversary. But these judges, they don't really care about what the hell you got going on. They're about this thing for money and bribes and filthy lucre. But let's read on. Luke 18:5. Yet because this widow troubleth me, I will avenge her, lest by her continual coming she weary me. And that's off, man. You're only going to do what's right because you don't want to be vexed. Verse 6. And the Lord said, hear what the unjust judge said. And shall not the Most High avenge his own elect, which cry day and night unto him, though he bear long with them? I tell you that he will avenge them speedily. Nevertheless, when a son of man cometh, shall he find faith on the earth? And if you are the elect, and the brother brought the precept out earlier, you're going to be crying day and night. And the cry isn't asking for a car. That's not what this is talking about. The elect aren't going to be asking a lot for materialistic things. Crying because you didn't get that house. Crying that you didn't get that 6-figure job. What are they crying for? To be avenged of their adversary. Who's our adversary? The so-called white men in these other nations, man. So if you're the elect, you're praying that the Most High avenges you of these wicked heathen that vex you and oppress you, rape, rob, and murder, and destroy you, man. I want to get a quick precept on that. This is the classic, Ezekiel, the 9th chapter, right? And that's the sure sign of somebody having a trait of being the elect, right? Because those men cry day and night unto the Most High. Ezekiel chapter 9 and verse 4. And Yahweh said unto him, go through the midst of the city, through the midst of Jerusalem, and set a mark upon the foreheads of the men that sigh and that cry for all the abominations that be done in the midst thereof. So the Lord has an angel that spiritually puts a mark upon you, separating you from the destruction that he's going to bring on the earth. But those men that are set apart are the men that sigh and that cry, man. You got some people that actually love going to work, man. And you got certain people that sigh. I'm going to the plantation. You got brothers that get up, man, I can't wait, man, to serve the so-called white man. They tie their damn bow. They got to be at work at 9. They get up at 4, man. So they can press iron their damn bow tie. They tie it the right way, man. They show up early, sitting in the parking lot, getting ready, damn, bumping damn house music, man. Popping a few pills. Hey, some people love their damn job, man. To death. Whatever. If it's damn pajama day, they got the pajamas on. If it's a damn softball league, then the league softball team. Then you got some people who hate this place, man. You know, they hate the plantation. They hate bills, rent, mortgages, insurance, man. And you know a lot about a brother if based off of his conversation. If a brother is complaining about life and his captivity, hey, that brother has the signs of being an elect, man. If a brother he likes to talk about the great things that the world gives him, then you might want to look at that brother a little bit side-eyed, man. Right? But you got it, King.
Con, that's right. And you got people like that at the workplace, right? My so-called manager, so-called, right? He love his job, man. He's always smiling, right? He always got a cup, a mug in his hand, and how was your weekend? He always enjoying himself, right? He always joking around, and while everybody else is slaving, sweating, tired. I mean, he sits in the office all day and he flicks his pen, man, and is on the phone with God knows who, laughing as he twits his the shades down, man. Right? So I mean, these people, they love their jobs. Hey, Solomon said, therefore I hated my life, man. Paraphrasing greatly. I believe in the book of Ecclesiastes 2:17. Right? And even with all of the riches, all of the honor, him being a king, having all of the gold, having all of those wives, having all of those vineyards, all of those things, he still said that. How much more, you understand? Brothers that are in a poverty like a state, that are poor, that don't have anything. Right? You can't be content with just 2 days, so like your 2 weeks paid vacation, right? And you got a $2 raise, right? And you finally got your car fixed. You think you finally making it, man. Right? They got that song, I forgot how it goes, but I believe it's the Jeffersons moving on to the apartment high in the sky. Like they made it or something, man. Like that's the end all be all. They done went to the apartment high in the sky. Like now they're not in captivity or in slavery anymore. Right? This is the book of Revelation, chapter 6, right? In verse, I'm gonna start at 9. Because when King, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say they saying that moving on up to the east side, we finally got a piece of the pie, huh?
Yeah.
Where is it? We finally got a piece of the pie because you moved to the east side.
And that's off a piece.
Yeah.
A damn piece of the pie.
Right.
The pie, a piece of the pie. The crumbs. And they go back to Luke, the 16th chapter, man.
Right.
Begging for crumbs. Right. This is the book of Revelation, chapter 6, and verse number 9. And when he had opened the fifth seal, I saw under the altar the souls of them that were slain for the word of God and for the testimony which they held. And they cried with a loud voice. So even after death, the elect is still crying. When Cain killed Abel, what did the Lord say? When you read the book of Genesis, right? The 4th chapter. Thy brother's blood cried to me from the ground, paraphrasing. Meaning what? Even in the third heaven, he was crying, right, to behold them of all the things that he have done. Now, this is Genesis chapter 4 and verse number 10. And they cried, right? It's the book of Genesis, right, chapter 4 and verse number 10. And it reads, it says, and he said, what hast thou done? The voice of thy brother's blood crieth unto me from the ground. So crying, you understand, by getting killed unjustly, right? The elect that are martyred in the book of Revelation, the 6th chapter, they're going to be crying. The elect on earth is going to be crying. That's just a spirit that's going to always be on the elect to always cry, whether in this life, right, or in the third heaven, that the Lord may behold all of the promises and avenge the elect. That's why when you actually read the book of Psalms chapter 149 and 5 all the way down, how sweet that is. Because actually them spirits have been crying for that from the foundation of the earth. So a lot of people say, well, you teach hate and, what do you mean dash thy babies against the stones? And right, the Lord has a two-edged sword. Well, actually, if you've been crying for this for generation after generation and generation, and you don't even know your lot, all you do know is that your spirit bears witness. You don't know how much you cried, right, in the ancient world. You don't know what would have been done to you. You could have been martyred in the ancient world. But your spirit is coming back in the same lot, crying unto the Lord, right? Because you want the Lord to avenge you. Right, you got it.
And I want to get a quick precept on that. This is Psalms 79, and I want 11, right? Quick precept on that to add to that. Now you're going to have, you don't want to be over righteous too. Don't read these accounts and you don't have times of, mirth and feast days and things. You're going to have those times, man. Right? But outside of that, man, outside of really feast days, bid amongst the brethren, you might, enjoy your family, your wives, and your children, but outside of that, and even amongst that, you're going to have those periods of sadness and depression, man. And after feast day, as the feast day wanes towards the end, brothers are kind of sad, man. Got to leave. Brothers don't want to leave. Brothers stand a little bit longer. They're trying to prolong the time to be more around the brothers because they know anything outside of the feast days and congregating is hell, man. It's darkness and it's depression and sadness. That's one of the curses in Deuteronomy 28 and 34, if I'm not mistaken. It says, so shalt thou be mad for the sight of thine eyes, which thou shalt see, man. So that's part of the curses that we're subject to anger and wrath as we see how our people live in a foreign, strange, a strange land. This is Psalms chapter. I'm gonna start at verse 9. Psalm chapter 79 and verse 9. I'm gonna start at verse 9. Help us, O God of our salvation, for the glory of thy name, and deliver us, and purge away our sins for thy name's sake. A lot of these prayers are about vengeance, man. Just straight up and down. I mean, these Psalms. That's why, again, if I'm not mistaken, in that slave Bible, right, brother could correct me if I'm wrong, I believe they took out a majority of the Psalms. They took out a majority of the Psalms. Why did they take out a lot of the Psalms? Because the Psalms ain't just about Jesus loves you and Jesus loves the little children, man. The Psalms are about vengeance, being delivered. The Psalms are about being saved from your enemy. How can a Christian read these Psalms and then be done all 150 Psalms and say God loves everybody? Well, you're not in the spirit, man, of what David was speaking about. David was in the spirit of, as the voice of the oppressed. You got certain Psalms, deliver me from man, deliver me from the oppression of man, break his teeth in his mouth, destroy the wicked, help us, save us. So David was always in that spirit, really speaking on behalf of the elect about being in a condition of slavery and servitude. Let me read this again. Help us, O God of our salvation, for the glory of thy name, and deliver us, and purge away our sins for thy name's sake. Wherefore should the heathen say, where is their God? So this isn't about everybody, man. David is praying for the Israelites to be saved so the heathen can't boast and say, well, where's their God at now? That's what they say when they have their knees on your neck, when they string you up in those trees, man. Right? When they shoot you as you reach for your wallet and your hands are up, man. When they fire you for fun, right? And laugh about it, man. They say, well, where is your God at? Let him be known among the heathen in our sight by the revenging of the blood of thy servants, which is shed. So one of the ways that Yahweh Shai, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ, is going to be made known by the revenging of blood. And that's really, these, for them to say the law is done away with goes against prophecy, because is there not a law about the revenger of blood in Numbers 35? Is not Yahweh Shai called the Redeemer? Isn't by law the Redeemer somebody nearest of kin by blood to you, an immediate family member? So how could Yahweh Shai come and be a Redeemer and a Revenger to other nations that's not of his kindred, huh? So that they have no idea what the scriptures are about. Yahweh Shai is the Revenger, huh? He's the true Revenger of blood. And all of these societies that Esau likens DC, London, as cities of refuge, man, for him, where he can hide and not be touched by the hand of the Most High. He can hide in Miami and be a sodomite. He can hide in Spain. He can hide in France. He can hide in London. And these are his cities of refuge from the revenger of blood, man. Right? But Yahweh Shai, hey, guess what, man? He is the ultimate redeemer for our blood that was shed. Verse 11, let the sighing of the prisoner come before thee. According to the greatness of thy power, preserve thou those that are appointed to die. Man. And we are appointed to die. I mean, it's diet, man. Even the food we eat, you have a quick death, man. You're eating all types of chemicals and madness, man. You're appointed to death when you wake up in the morning, not knowing if you're going to be robbed by your own people, pursuant to Deuteronomy 28:54, and killed, man, by a stray bullet. You don't know if you're appointed to die, you get pulled over, and like I brought out earlier, get shot, man. We need to be saved because we're appointed to die. And it says, let the sighing of the prisoner. And these are brothers in actual prison, man. You got brothers in actual prisons, right? Although this is speaking about the elect, but you got people in actual prison. Jake, what bad? But you had a brother that I believe he was in Alabama, somewhere down south. He died of bed bugs, man. And he was crying that they would save him. And the prisons in Memphis, St. Louis, Atlanta, man, you got these guys with these phones. They're recording the food that they're eating. They're recording the sanitary or lack thereof conditions that they have to deal with, man. Right? That the damn walls are bust down and broken down. They got no water. They stacked up on top of each other. And we live how they live, although we're not physically in prison. We feel that in this spiritual prison. And we're sighing like any other prisoner would sigh. And these prayers are going to come before the Most High. Verse 12, last verse. And render unto our neighbors sevenfold into their bosom. The reproach, it's like their reproach, wherewith they have reproached thee, O Lord. And this goes back to Cain as well, because the Most High said about Cain, whosoever slayeth Cain, vengeance shall be on him sevenfold, paraphrasing. So the Most High, he's the one that's going to pay sevenfold back unto Cain, who came back on the earth as Esau. So that this is these Psalms, man. You read these Psalms, it's all about being delivered. What you got it, King?
Khan, that's right. And I'm gonna get that too in Psalm chapter 43. Right, they're all saying the same thing, and it's all parables too. Because if you read this in any other spirit, you're not going to read it in the spirit of how it's designed for you to understand it in. I just want to be, delivered from, this bad day I'm having. It's not a moment. It's a nation. It's a people. It's literally principalities, demons, and spirits and nations all coming up against you. You got nations coming up against you, right? You got your own people coming up against you, right? You got spirits coming up against you. I mean, these nations don't battle these type of things. There's nobody hindering the Moabite man. There's nobody hindering the Ammonite man. Or they have a nice day. They get dressed. They go in their bank account, take out money. They go to Starbucks. They laugh. They joke. They have their umbrellas so the sun doesn't hit them. And they scrolling down the street with no problems in the world. But Jake, everything always happening to Jake. He always borrowing money. He always fresh out of luck. A lot of our fathers, man, physically, our fathers, right, could testify on a lot of things, man. I watched my father struggle, man. I know other brothers on his live seen their fathers struggle. I mean, brothers' fathers have been in rooms, right? They never had an apartment, living with grandma. I mean, when you see these things as a child and or witness them as an adult, it being you with your children, you got to always ask why. That's why it's a sign and a wonder, like the Lord said. Why am I broke? Why am I struggling? Why are we in these situations? What's going on? And it's befalling all of us. It's the book of Psalms, chapter 43, in verse 1. It says, judge me, O Yahweh, and plead my cause against an ungodly nation. What does it mean, plead my cause against an ungodly nation? Meaning help me, because they got their hand against me. Plead my cause, meaning redeem me and save me. Oh, deliver me from the deceitful and unjust man. The deceitful and unjust man is Esau. For thou art the God of my strength. Why doest thou cast me off? Why go I mourning because of the oppression of the enemy? And that can't be talking about anybody else but one people. You can't read the Psalms and say that's just talking about David and nobody else. No, the Lord said against an ungodly nation. For thou art my God and my strength. Why doest thou cast me off? Why go I mourning because of the oppression of the enemy? O send out thy light and thy truth. Let them lead me. Let them bring me unto the holy hill. Right? Meaning what? Bring me into Jerusalem. Or take me out of slavery. Take me out of oppression. Take me out of the dungeon. Take me out of the prison cells. Take me out of the chains. And take me into the holy hill. The holy hill was Jerusalem. And to thy tabernacles. Then will I go unto thy altar, O Yahweh, unto my God, my exceeding joy. So that's the only way we could truly be joyful, is if we go back to our homeland. That's what David is saying through this song. Redeem me out of slavery, redeem me out of oppression, take me to the holy hill, take me to the kingdom, right? Take me to heaven, right? New Jerusalem. It says, then will I go unto the altar of God, unto God my exceeding joy. Yea, upon the harp will I praise thee, O Yahweh my God. Why art thou cast down? O my soul, why art thou disquieted within me? Hope in God, for I shall yet praise him, who is the health of my countenance and my God. And that's spiritual that he said he's the health of his countenance. Because like the brother was going into earlier, when you're oppressed, you're depressed. You're down, you're sorrowful. So it's the Lord said, so like David said through the hand of the Lord, who is the health of my countenance? Meaning that's how you be radiant. That's how you have light. That's how you have some type of joy to yourself, because the joy of the Lord is your strength. You got it.
Con. And I want to get another quick precept to add to that. So again, like brothers are saying, that the scriptures, man, it's a book about deliverance. It's a book of testimonies, laws, statutes, commandments. It's a book of revolution, man. This is why they go through great lengths. It's a book about being delivered from the hand of, like we're going into, from the hand of our enemies, man. Now this is Psalms 126:1. When the Lord turned again the captivity of Zion, we were like them that dream. So again, this shows the Lord isn't coming for everybody, man. It's just the captivity of Zion. The Edomite man isn't in captivity. Who's his captor? Who captured Esau? Who's captured the so-called white man? Where is he at? Bound up in another land, being ruled over by other nations. It can't be talking about him. When did the Arab man, where's the Arab man at in captivity, man? Chains and darkness. Never seen an Arab man doing a bid of 75 years, man. You had that one brother that I think they damn near gave him life. It may not have been that long, but they gave him a very lengthy sentence for stealing a book bag, man. Allegedly. And then he ended up getting beat up in prison and tortured. I think that brother ended up killing himself, man. And we go through a horrible, horrible, nightmarish hell here in Babylon the Great, man. And it's always something, too. It's always something. When you get some money, like I say in Haggai, the first chapter, you got to spend your money, man. Esau cutting into your damn check, man. You think you kind of got some money in your pocket, then you got to put it on your damn car. Your car broke down, right? Or you need this. Just when you got something, you can't tell we're not under the curses, man. Get a little bit of something, then it's gone. There's always madness and folly and vexation. So David said, when we got delivered, we were like them that dream. Man, you're not even it's not going to really hit you. Like that cliche saying, they say, pinch me, I'm dreaming. Because people, when they go through things, like when Peter got delivered, Peter thought in Acts the 12th chapter, he saw a vision. Right? He didn't know what was real, man, when he got delivered out of prison in Acts the 12th chapter. So we're going to be like that, man. Verse 2. Then was our mouth filled with laughter, and our tongue would sing. And this laughter is not going to be a chuckle when a brother try to be too cool. You're not going to do that when you're in the chariot, man. Right? And do that damn fake laugh, man. No, this laughter is something that you've never done this laughter before. This is beyond the laughter when your side hurt, or when you leave the room and come back, right? Or you show all your damn teeth, man, when you laugh. This laughter, we've never had this laughter before because we're in captivity. You got to imagine this, man. It says, and our tongue with singing. Then said they among the heathen, meaning the people that's not saved, that's not laughing, that's mourning and wailing, the Lord hath done great things for them. The Lord hath done great things for us, whereof we are glad, sending the chariots, sending Yahushua, destroying Babylon the Great, burning down these cities, turning the nations and the kings and the beasts and the kings of the earth into dust and ashes, man. Those are the great things he's going to do for us. There's a separation between what the Most High is going to do for us and what he's going to do for these heathen. Verse 4, turn again our captivity, O Lord, as the streams in the south. They that sow in tears shall reap in joy. So we're sowing in tears right now, man. Right? Due to all of the hell that we're going through, but you're going to reap in joy. You're not going to sow tears. And when Yahweh returns, you reap the harvest of sadness, woe, and madness, man. Every tear that was put into this earth, every blood drop that was put into this earth is essentially a seed planted, man. And it's going to bear the fruit of joy because we were set up to be delivered from the hand of our enemies. Verse 6, he that goeth forth in weeping, bearing precious seed. See that? Because those are the seeds that we're planting in the earth. Shall doubtless come again with rejoicing, bringing his sheaves with him. So this is a beautiful psalm right here. Imagine being in that chariot, watching Babylon the Great be destroyed, man. All of the elect are there, man. And everybody's laughing and rejoicing. And Yahushua is there, man. He's there rejoicing, man, because he sees his brethren delivered, man. Right? That's going to be a beautiful time. And that's why you have to constantly pray like the parable is going into. You got it, King.
Con, that's right. Well, I'm gonna get one more on right, catching hell in the Psalms. This Psalm chapter 142. Right, Psalm chapter 142, right, it's heavy as well, going into a complaint. Right, this is Psalm chapter 142 and verse 1. I cried unto the Lord with my voice unto the Lord that I make my supplication. And that's not David just, whispering, right? I'm led to believe he was wailing, he was crying, right? When you read Psalms, the 6th chapter, verse 6 and verse 6 all the way down, David literally was crying, literally, when you read that, right? His complaint, a lot of people, when they really want something or they're really hurt, they're really distressed, they cry, they shed tears, right? They can't hold back their emotions. And that's what it really means when you reap in this thing. You have actual people that have cried in this truth, man. Look at Esther. She put dung on her head, right? And she cried out to the Lord. So, certain people go past what other people would do. Other people may just cry. Other people are crying with tears. Other people are really getting into this thing. Actually have on sackcloth. Right? Actually shutting out the world and giving all their time and their emotions to the Most High. Right? It says, I poured out my supplication, so like my complaint before him. I shewed before him my trouble. Meaning David said he put everything on the line. And you got to put everything on the line with the Most High. You can't hold back things. The Most High already knows what you need before you ask. You be foolish and proud and not exercising all that the Most High could do for you by not praying for everything. You can't just say, forgive me for my sins. Sometimes you got to say, hey, look, I stole. I had spirits on me. I wasn't reading all this week. I haven't fasted in 2 weeks. You got to tell the Most High what it is that's actually going on. And just like a wicked, ignorant man, when they apologize, they don't do it how they should. Oh, my bad. I'm sorry. I ain't mean it. No, somebody wants to hear what you actually did. They want it to be sincere. And to have a sincere prayer, you got to confess all that it is. He says, I poured out my complaint before him. I shewed before him my trouble. When my spirit was overwhelmed within me, then thou knewest my path. Then my way wherein I walked have they privately laid snares for me. So when my spirit was overwhelmed, man, right? And man's spirit gets overwhelmed. You got work. Certain brothers work 8 hours, 10 hours, 12 hours, 14 hours, and you get overwhelmed by all of the stress that you have, man. Right? Your household, you got to take care of that, got to do all of this work, right? It gets overwhelming to the point where, when spirits and demons start attacking you, it could get overwhelming, right? A weak man or a man that's not putting all of his trust and mind in the Most High will fall. So when your spirit gets overwhelmed and all of these spirits start to attack you, hey, David said, it says, I looked on my right hand and beheld, but there was no man that know me. Refuge failed me. No man cared for my soul. And that's not saying brothers don't have your back. You don't have a congregation or a brotherhood, but that's saying when it all boils down, all you have is the Most High. Because you may be in a situation where you may be in a dungeon. You may look to your right, your left, no man is beside you. Or you may not always have that phone call or that counsel. At the end of the day, who do you have but the Most High? That's what David is saying in the spirit. It says, I cried and unto thee, O Yahweh, thou said, thou art my refuge and my portion in the land of the living. Attend unto my cry, for I am brought very low. Deliver me from my persecutors, for they are stronger than I. Who has the power to persecute you? The so-called white man, right? This government, America, right? The daughter of Babylon. They have power to persecute you unjustly, throw away the key, right? Give you 30 plus, 90 plus years, and they'll give you what they call a double life sentence. At
Right.
that point, that's Esau's joke. When they go close the door after trial, we gave this nigga 2 lives. It's no such thing as 2 lives. Why is that even a thing that
Right.
you make 2 or 3 life sentences? It's as if they're just playing with you, man, and joking in your face. How evil is that to even say, we're going to give you 7 life sentences? So this is the wickedness of their mind, just bang that gavel so strong that even in this life and the next life, they saying you'll never have hope. It says, bring my soul out of prison, that I may praise thy name. Thy righteous shall compass me about, but thou shalt deal bountifully with me. Why? Because David had faith. All right, you got it.
God. And a lot of our forefathers, they were in this spirit, man. Ezra, when you read Second Esdras, Esdras was always complaining to the Most High, man. The Most High had to check him. Lovest thou thy creature, more than me? Paraphrasing and many other accounts, man. So he was complaining, I went here and there through Babylon. I see the enemies. Read the book of Baruch, man. Read like these Psalms. One key attribute about the elect is they are not comfortable with the name of the Most High not being exalted. They're not comfortable with their enemies ruling over them, man. They're uneasy, right? They're not content with mediocrity, man, and just being a damn 9 to 5 kind of person, man. They knew and they know that there's more to this life than a life that they currently live, man. Right? Let me get that real quick in Second Ezra, the 6th chapter, right? When Ezra asks, "What shall be the parting asunder of the times?" man, right? He said, "Man, these heathen, which have ever been reputed as nothing." Let me get that. Well, let me actually get that. There's so much, man. I just want to get that real quick. This Second Ezra, chapter 6 and 57. And now, O Lord, behold, these heathen, which have ever been reputed as nothing, have begun to be lords over us and to devour us, man. See, now people look at these heathen like they're something. You're looking at the white man's suit and tie. You're looking at his buildings. You're looking at his cars, man. And he had the fleet week in Baltimore. He's bringing out their jets and all of their damn war aircraft carriers, and everybody was damn fascinated, man. People had the binoculars out, they had the ice cream, popping popcorn, and kids running around acting like a damn airplane. And guess what? We wasn't impressed, man. You know, we know that that's nothing, man. These heathen have always been nothing. Ezra knew that. Isaiah said that 100 or so odd years before Ezra was there, man, or more, really over 200 years or so. In Isaiah, the 40th chapter, it says, "These heathen, which have ever been reputed as nothing." They've always been known for being nothing, have begun to be lords over us and to devour us. And when it says have begun to be lords over us, it means this is uncommon. When you begin to do something, it's new. So this is a new thing for these heathen to rule over us. They have began to be lords over us, man. Because at one time we were lords over them. So if you're a lord over a damn nation of people and they have now begun to be lords over you, and you're going to be oppressed, man. I mean, depressed. Your slave ruling over you, man, beating you, whipping you, killing you. Verse 58, but we thy people, whom thou hast called thy firstborn, thy only begotten, and thy fervent lover, are given into their hands. If the world be made now for our sakes, why do we not possess an inheritance with the world? How long shall this endure? And that's the question we're asking. How long is this going to endure, man? We get excited when we see at the end of this world, man. The draft, anybody from the age of, I believe they said 18 to 26 is automatically enlisted, part of the draft. We get excited when we see those warships off the coast of Cuba, man. We get excited because we know that the end of this man's kingdom is coming to, or it draws nigh, rather. Right? But we ask these, why aren't we in power yet, man? How long are we going to be here? How long is this place going to continue? What more wickedness can they do? And these are the questions of the men of the Lord, man. They always looked for the return of Yahushua. They asked Yahushua, what shall the sign be of thy coming and of the end of the world? In Matthew the 24th chapter. Ezra said, what shall be the pardon of sundry of times? In Acts the 1st chapter, Lord, wilt thou again restore the kingdom to Israel? They're always asking and asking and asking. You know? So they were always looking for this world to go down and a world to come to be immortalized, man. You got it, King.
Khan, that's right. Right, all of the prophets. Right, this is the book of 2nd Esdras, right, chapter 5 and verse number 43. Right? 2nd Esdras chapter 5 and 43. And it reads, it says, so I answered and said, couldst thou not make those that have been made and be now? And they are for to come at once. So Ezra is saying, why can't you just make everybody at one time? Why can't you just make all of the lots, all of the generations to be at one time? That thou mayest shew thy judgment the sooner. Right? So he was trying to haste to the end. He was like, well, I'm not, he kind of drawing it out. I'm trying to figure out, he trying to get the mind of the Most High. Right? That's the book of 2nd Esdras, the 4th chapter. The more thou searchest, the more thou shalt marvel. Right? Verse 26 all the way down. It says, then he answered, he me, and said, thy creature may not haste above the maker. Neither may the world hold them at once that shall be created therein. Why? Because you have different generations. When you read the book of Revelation, the 14th chapter, you have to have the fruit of wickedness that has to reach his peak. That at the time of the harvest, the sickle may come and thrush them through. Or you can't just plant everything and everything just come up all at one time in one generation, right, in 100 years. Right? Fruit takes a while to grow. Right, through all type of seasons. Right, you may have a barley harvest at a different time. Then you may have a grape harvest. Then you have a grape harvest. You may have a different type of harvest. You understand? So you have different type of harvests and things planted in diverse seasons and times where the Most High is going to have everything in his time. Believe it or not, Esau's wickedness has not reached its peak, man. There are more evil counsels that need to be had. There are more bombs to be created. There are more things that these nations are doing behind closed doors to reach the perfection of their wickedness. The same way Israel, the 144,000 are being sealed. The brothers are still being waken up. So you can't haste too much like Ezra. Ezra was trying to make it happen tomorrow. Right? It says, and I said, as thou hast said unto thy servant, that thou which givest life to all has given life at once to create creature that thou hast created, and that the creature bear it, even so might now also bear them that now be present at once. And he said unto me, ask the woman. So like he asked the womb of a woman and said to her, If thou bringest forth children, why doest thou it not together, but one after another? Right? And this is the generation. This is the lots. This is the different seasons. You understand what different prophecies and things are going to come about. You can't have all of the prophecies happen in one day. They're in different seasons and different lots. No, Jake has to wake up. Has to be a time of the valley of the dry bones. Has to be time, you understand, after 3 days and a half. It has to be time where the Lord says, come up hither. It has to be times in the respective seasons. It says, why doest thou not together, but one after another? Pray her, therefore, to bring forth 10 children at once. Then I said she cannot, but must do it by distance of time. It's the point. Then said he unto me, even so have I given the womb of the earth to those that be sown in it in their times. So you had the time of Adam, you had the time of Noah, you had the time of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and then you have our times, which are the end days, right? Where the womb pains and everything is about to issue through.
Con. And that's a beautiful spirit to have, man, to look unto the end of the world, man, and look for this place to go down. I've never seen, well, they have these, but rarely and seldom do you have prisoners who just, don't care how long you're in prison, man. Usually that they're looking to talk to the judge. Can I talk to my lawyer? They writing out cases. A lot of these lawyers, I mean, prisoners, they go to the libraries, they're looking up laws, and they're looking to get out of it, man. They're looking to get the hell out, man. Can I make a phone call? I need more time. They mad when you cut the damn time short because you're talking to you might be talking to your mother, your family relative about your case and how to get out or how things looking. And hey, these prisoners still looking to get out, man. You got guys, they enjoy it there, man. They enjoy it. They got a flat screen. I saw one video on social media. This guy had a damn Rolex on. He had a chain. He walked out of prison. He in the yard showing off all his damn jewelry, man. You got prisoners in there doing a TikTok dance. One guy kind of showing his room where he got his flat screen, how he make his breakfast in the morning, how it tastes good. And he had one guy showed the people who had washing his damn clothes, man. He had 3 Edomites said, this guy, he washed my clothes. Say your name. And he set the phone up. He said, I wash his clothes. He said, you say your name. There's another Edomite. He said, well, yeah, I cook his breakfast. He said, shut up. Then he called the third Edomite behind him, said, say your name. He said his name. And he was just boasting about his damn boyfriends, man, in prison. So we're looking to get out of here, man. We're not looking to just dwell and Sodom and Gomorrah, right? This is let's go back to this. This is Luke 18, and I'm gonna read verse 8 again. I tell you that I'm gonna read 7 again. Luke 18 and 7. And shall not the Most High avenge his own elect, which cry day and night unto him, though he bear long with them? I tell you that he will avenge them speedily. Nevertheless, when the Son of Man cometh, shall he find faith on the earth? Because things are going to be so bad, people are going to fall away. Right? Verse 9. And he spake this parable unto certain which trusted in themselves that they were righteous and despised others. And that's a horrible spirit to have, man. When you trust in yourself that you're righteous and you despise others, man. You have brothers like that. You go before the Most High. Lord, hey, look, man, look how righteous I was today, Lord. Let me show you my alms I gave, right? Here's what I had before, and my bank account here's after. See that difference, Lord? Right, get with me. That's wicked, man. Right? You're boasting about all of the great things that you have done, man. Lord, I read 25 chapters today. I bet you that brother over there, he didn't read 25 chapters, Lord. Did he? Yeah, I didn't think so. All right? You can't trust in yourself that you're righteous and despise others, man. Because all of our righteousness are counted as a filthy rag. Let me get that real quick, man. All of our righteousness, right? Actually, well, yeah, let me get that first, right? Get this quick precept. This Isaiah chapter 64 and verse 6. But we are all as an unclean thing, and all our righteousness are as filthy rags. And we all do fade as a leaf, and our iniquities, like the wind, have taken us away, man. So even all our righteousness, man, is counted as a filthy rag. It doesn't mean there's no point in being righteous. It's saying that, hey, look, man is nothing, right? Man isn't going to be saved by the works of his own hands. Man is going to be saved by Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua, right? Man is going to be saved by the mercy of Yahweh Yahushua. So don't look at all of the great alms and works and reading and praying and studying and teaching and years and longevity and what you have done and think that that's something that the Most High is impressed about, man. And what the Most High says, look, because this brother did all of this, that not because of me, but this brother, he saved himself. No, man. The Most High, he's going to save you. So you can't trust in yourself, and you better more, you can't despise others, man. Because that brother that you despise, but that brother, he might come into this thing, man. He might be the elect. The Lord said there are some that are slow and for wanting ability, man. Brothers don't move at the same pace, man. Right, but you got it, King.
Con, that's right. Right, and in Job chapter 22, right, the Lord checks you no matter how perfect you think you are, right, that you'll never be able, right, to be pleasing to him, right, to a certain degree. Right, it's the book of Job chapter 22 and verse 2. Can a man be profitable unto God, as he that is wise may be profitable unto himself? Can the Lord just say, you know what, the water, and thank man? Or can a man be profitable unto the Most High? Because guess what? Whatever you're doing, he could raise up the next brother to do the same thing. The Lord said, if these shall hold their peace, even the stone shall cry out. So it don't matter who holds their peace, who stops teaching, who stops going out on the highways and byways, who falls out the truth, or who's on fire, that's not going to profit the Most High, because at the end of the day, the Most High's name is still going to be magnified, whether you're alive or not. You're not stopping the show. No one man, it starts the show. Right, as soon as he got here, he out of breath and he put on his fringes, and now the Lord pushed play, man. No, the program and prophecy is going to kick off, whether you're alive or not. It says, is it any pleasure to the Almighty that thou art righteous? So is it anything to the Most High? Or is that going to make the Most High's day better? Is that going to make him on fire for you? That you're righteous, and does that make the world, It says, or is it gain to him that thou makest thy ways perfect? So, on a deeper level, is going into you can't be proud. Not that the Most High isn't pleased with your works and that you're doing, because he will say, well done, right, that good and faithful servant. But you can't boast yourself in a spirit as if you've done this by your own will and your own might and your own strength. It says, will he reprove thee for fear of thee? Will he enter, right, with thee into judgment? Is not thy wickedness great and thine iniquities infinite? So the Lord said, look, you can't even number out all your iniquities because they're infinite. The word infinite means forever. It's just going to continue to go. It's never going to stop. And that's how man is, right? I want to get one more precept in Psalm chapter 39 in verse, right, number 5. Right, this is Psalm chapter 39 and verse number 5, and it reads, behold, thou hast made my days as an handbreadth, right? It says, and mine age is as nothing before thee. Verily, every man at his best estate is altogether vanity. So at your best estate, right, after you have fasted, you have read, so like you fasted for 3 days, you have read 30 chapters, right? You have held an overtime camp. You have been at camp. You started your own camp. Whatever you're doing through the Spirit, you done gave arms, gave the shirt off your back. Food, you understand that you cooked up. You done cried day and night. Nothing you could do is not going to make you vanity. Why? You're just dust and ashes. You're just a mortal man. You're subject to hope in Yahushua. You're going to be subject to sin. Even Paul called his body wretched, man, and called himself wretched. O wretched man that I am, who shall deliver me from the body of this death, man? And if Paul can say that, and Paul labored harder and more abundantly than them all. He was on fire. He did more traveling. He did more teaching, right? He did more work, right? He got stoned, laid down with the basket, right? He was on the move, a night and a day spent in the deep, right? So Paul did all of that, and he still called himself ratchet. Because when the more knowledge you gain in the Most High, the more it should be able to humble you, not boast you up. Think about it. The more you learned about the Most High, it should increase you more in fear. Shouldn't increase you more in knowledge of puffed up. That's not a spirit of humility, right? The more you should learn about the Most High, the more you learn He'll judge you. He'll destroy you. He makes your thoughts. He's the one that lets spirits take hold of you or take spirits off of you. When you understand these things, it's a fearful thing to fall into the hands of the living God. So that should abase you, right, with humility. Because like the Lord said in Sirach, the 3rd chapter, verse 18 all the way down, right, paraphrasing greatly, right, yeah, we're going to just pull it through the spirit, right, in the book of Sirach, right, chapter 3 and verse number 18. And it reads, the greater thy art, the more humble thyself. So the more you increase in knowledge and wisdom, the more the Most High's mercy rests upon you, the more of humility you should have. And thou shalt find favor before the Lord. So where does it say you find favor while knowing all of the in-depth breakdowns, right? Or doing all of these fantastic feats, right? No, the Lord said, the greater thou art, the more humble thyself. Out of all the men on earth, Moses was the most meekest man, right? That's something you can't teach. That got to be in you. The Lord said, blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth. Right, you got it.
Come. And that's a beautiful spirit to have, a humble, meek, lowly spirit, man. You know, I want to get this in Job, the 4th chapter. I want to go to Job chapter 4 and verse, let's start at 12, right? Job chapter 4 and 12. Now a thing was secretly brought to me, and mine ear received a little thereof. Right? I mean, he didn't really understand what happened this night, but he's going to break it down anyway. And thoughts for the vision, Slakia, and thoughts from the visions of the night, when deep sleep falleth on men. Fear came upon me, and trembling, which made all my bones to shake. Then a spirit passed before my face. The hair of my flesh stood up. You got to imagine this, man. You sleep, you're trying to figure out what's going on. Spirits fall on you. You're trembling. Your bones are shaking. Then a spirit passed before your face, man. Right? Like a demon, an angel, a messenger. It stood still, but I cannot discern the form thereof. An image was before mine eyes. There was silence, and I heard a voice saying, right? Shall mortal man be more just than the Most High? And shall a man be more pure than his maker? So, hey, the Most High do that, man. You feeling yourself? You proud? Start kind of looking down at brothers. And the Lord said, knowledge puffeth up, huh? Right? You start getting puffed up and, whatever the case may be. Hey, the Most High, he'll put a spirit on you, man. To just appear before your face in the middle of the night and just be silent for a minute and then just start getting on you, man. And the spirit wasn't talking like a child. Shall mortal man be more just than God? No, man. And this spirit had to have a deep, austere, a stern voice, man. Shall mortal man be more just than the Most High? Shall a man be more pure than his maker? Behold, he put no trust in his servants, and his angels he charged with folly. And this is deep. It's not necessarily literal, but it's like a hyperbole. It's extreme, letting you know that the Most High is far above what man may like him to be. Man fears angels, man. Samson's mother said that the angel that came down was terrible, man. Had a terrible countenance. The angels have, 4 heads, man. Some have 4 faces. These angels, they could touch somebody and they could drop dead, man. The angels, the Most High charged with folly. And the Most High don't put his, you think the Most High trusts you to run, to do something, man? The Most High can't do anything. He got to trust you to get the job done. He's limited in certain aspects of his character. And if you're not around, the Most High, he's worried about how things are going to go. But when you come around, he trusts you and says, I'm glad you're here, brother. Now I can fully be the Most High. I'm the Most High when you're around. Hey, you can't exhort the Most High, man. Like you can exhort a brother. Look, but we got to keep pushing, man. Look, we at the end of this thing. The Most High don't need to, he don't need to hear that, man. He don't care to hear you say we at the end of this thing. Right? You can't exhort the Most High, man, to keep laboring, to keep being diligent. Right? It says in his angels he charged with folly. How much, Slakia, how much less and them that dwell in houses of clay, whose foundation is in the dust, which are crushed before the moth. They are destroyed, meaning man. This is how much man is nothing. Man, you just dwell in a house of clay, man. You're on the earth, first of all. The Most High is in the third heaven. What you filling yourself for, man? You dwell in houses of clay with bricks and steel, and the Lord will destroy your house, man. You know, it says whose foundation is in the dust. Then the Most High said they are destroyed from morning to evening. Man, he'd kill you anytime, man. They perish forever without any regarding it. It's like you. That not their excellency, which is in them, go away. They die even without wisdom. So, you know, this is a humbling scripture, man, to let man know that man is nothing. And pride is hateful before God and man. And by both that one pour out iniquity, paraphrase. Let me get one more real quick in Job, the 9th chapter, right? Job chapter 9 and verse 20. If I justify myself, mine own mouth shall condemn me. If I say I am perfect, it shall prove me perverse. So again, you will be a pervert, man, if you say that you're perfect, if you justify yourself, if you boast of your works, man. Though I were perfect, yet would I not know my soul, I would despise my life. This is one thing, therefore I said it. He destroyed the perfect and the wicked, man. So that's a heavy verse right there. The Most High can destroy the perfect man and destroy the wicked man. Just like that, man. Anybody can get it, man. Anybody can get it from Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. He can do whatever he want to do, man. And the Most High can shut this live down right now and then cause a tornado to rip through your neighborhood, man, with a snap of his fingers, because you were feeling yourself, man. The Most High can stir up the spirit of your adversary, like he did against Solomon. Stirred up Hadad the Edomite, man. The Lord can just start stirring up your damn boss and fire you tomorrow, man. The Most High, you don't have to come on the earth. He can just stir up spirits and elements. He can do whatever he want to do, man. You know? So why is man feeling himself, man? But you got it, King.
Con, that's right. I wanted to get 2 Corinthians chapter 12, right? In verse 7. And that just goes to show you how much restraint the Most High has, because, you know, the Most High could, like, kill you at any moment. So the fact that, you know, he's merciful unto you and gives you less than your iniquity deserveth. I mean, if the Lord didn't give you less than your iniquity deserveth, you know, a lot of sins would have, you know, had brothers to give up the ghost, be destroyed, killed, right? You know, robbed or got in a car accident, right? These things befall, you know, the wicked, you know, they'll befall you, right? Next thing you know, you done gave up the ghost, right? This is the book of 2 Corinthians chapter 12, and I'm going to start at verse number 4. I'm going to start at 5. It says, of such and one will I glory, yet not so like yet of myself I will not glory, but in my infirmities. Though I would desire to glory, I shall not be a fool, for I would say the truth, but now I forbear lest any man should think of me above that which he seemeth me to be, or that he heareth of me. So Paul knew that men were putting him on a big pedestal. You can read about that in Acts, the 14th chapter. Right, men were glorifying Paul. He's the chief speaker. Right, Paul is this, Paul is that. They were hearing about Paul, and all of Paul's works and the gospel that the Most High gave to him through the Spirit of Yahushua, right? And he said, look, I can't boast myself lest a man makes of me more than I am, right? It says, unless I should be exalted above measure through the abundance of revelation, because nobody else had the revelations that, literally the Most High through Yahushua gave Paul, right? You had prophets that prophesied in the part, but the things that Paul had unto the uncircumcision were given by the ministry or straight to Paul, right? By Yahushua himself, right? In Acts the 9th chapter. So they were mysteries and they were revelations. Right? You can read about that in Ephesians 3:1, Ephesians 4:1 on out. It says, through the abundance of revelations, there was given to me a thorn in the flesh. So the Lord literally gave Paul a spirit, right? A troubling spirit, a thorn in the flesh. Right? That didn't mean he physically had, a thorn literally in his side, right? Because I'm pretty sure he would have tried to relieve himself. Right? This thorn was spiritual. And this thing that he had on him, right? I mean, look at Tobit. Tobit had an infirmity, right? You have certain people like that woman in Mark, right? She had the infirmity of the blood flowing through her issue, right? For all of those years, right? So you may have an infirmity or a spirit, whether it be inside or outside, troubling you, which is a spirit, right? It says, at the abundance of revelations, a thorn in the flesh, the messenger of Satan, to buffet me, lest I should be exalted above measure. And nobody knows on an in-depth level what this was. But, it could have been any spirit. The Most High is giving you one more chance. Could have been a demon in his head. The Lord's giving you one more chance, one more opportunity, right? Because you know that Paul, you understand he lived that life of sin and that lie, like he said in Romans the 3rd chapter, till he came into the knowledge of truth in Yahushua. So nobody knows what that spirit was that was bothering Paul. Hey, but the Lord said it buffeted him, and it was the messer of Satan. And Satan bothers us all the time, huh? Right? Whether it don't be believing Yahushua, don't pray, your marriage will never work, right? Your brother truly hates you in his heart, right? Why are you going to camp? Stop being over righteous. And these spirits, they get in your mind, and if you don't rebuke them and you entertain them, you're gonna get overthrown. And it says, for this thing I besought the Lord thrice that I may depart from you. And he said unto me, my grace is sufficient for thee, for my strength is made perfect in weakness. Meaning sometimes the Most High gonna have you to go through the fire. You're not going to be delivered out of every one of last of your situations that you may pray for. You may have to deal with it, man. Some people are actually going to have to die for the truth. Now, in that situation and circumstance, you may be praying for deliverance, but that's just not your lot. That's just the cup the Most High gave you to drink. Even Yahushua said, if it were possible, Lord, have this cup pass before me. Paraphrasing greatly. Not my will, but thine will be done. So no matter what the situation is, you may not have a spirit you understand depart from you. It may just trouble you all the time. And your defense is the shield, faith, right? Ephesians, you understand the 6th chapter, and going through the precepts to be able to fight that spirit off, that it doesn't consume you. But these spirits, it may plague you to the day you understand of deliverance, or that infirmity of a wheelchair, right? You being in the hospital, but or whatever the case may be, may trouble you to the point like a Epaphroditus, right? And he was nigh unto death, but he still did the work of the Lord. You got it.
Con. And that's a beautiful account right there, man. That's a beautiful account for somebody that labored like the brother, or it's like the Apostle Paul, to actually, let brothers get some insight into his conscience and his mind, man. Because a lot of brothers, they'll act as if nothing, they don't deal with nothing, man. Right? And Paul, he had to do that, man. So like the brother was saying, so everybody can know, hey, look, man, I'm just like you. Some brothers, they might come off like they're Yahushua, man. Right? So this is a beautiful spirit to have, where you have that humble spirit and you don't trust in yourself. You despise others, man. You give brothers some insight about what you deal with, that brothers may know, hey, look, I deal with what this brother deals with, man. Because some brother, imagine if the Apostle Paul didn't do that, man. A lot of brothers, that could have done more harm than good, man. I'll never be like this brother. I'm not worthy. I'll never be like this. If that's what the truth is supposed to be, and I'm not there, why am I even in this truth? Right? So it's a very humble thing for our forefathers to take that give you some insight about what they deal with on a personal level. And this is and going back to this goes into this parable, right back in Luke 18 and 9. And he spake this parable unto certain which trusted in themselves that they were righteous and despised others. And I don't know how man can trust in himself when man, you don't know what the hell is going on, man. What you're going to eat? Do I want to eat this? Do I want to eat that? I don't know. Should I go this way? Should I go that way? Do I want to wear this? Do I want to wear that? How are you going to trust in yourself when you question yourself, man? You don't even know what things are going on. That's Wisdom of Solomon in the 9th chapter. Right? The Lord said, hardly do we guess it right at the things that are on the earth, man. Right? But reading on. Verse 10. 2 men went up into the temple to pray, the one a Pharisee and the other a publican. Right? The Pharisees, they were the highly esteemed ambassadors of the law, right? These men, you can read about them throughout the Gospels, but keeping it short and sweet, these men were highly esteemed for their knowledge in the law and for their knowledge in the prophets and in their knowledge in the writings. And they were the chief ambassadors of the law, and they sat in Moses' seat as the authority of the scriptures during that time. So these were supposed to be highly esteemed men. Then you had the publican, which were tax collectors, man, right? Which were outcast, enemies to a lot of Israelites, as seen as agents, as sellouts that worked on behalf of the Roman Empire, right? Verse 11, the Pharisee stood and prayed thus with himself. God, I thank thee that I am not as other men are, extortioners, unjust, adulterers, or even as his publican. And that's a terrible spirit to have, man. First of all, you just standing up and pray. Ain't nothing wrong with standing up and praying. Hey, but if you can, you should be on your knees, man, praying to the Most High. You know? You should be on your knees praying to Yahweh Shemel Shah. And your face in Matthew 26 and 39, Yahweh Shah's face was on the earth. Let me get that real quick, man. That's a humble way to pray. You don't pray with your head behind your back like this. Yeah, Lord, man. Shit, what you think? Man, that's wicked, man. Right? This is Matthew. Let me get a quick precept. Matthew 26, man. Right? Matthew 26 and 39. The Lord is not your man's, man. He's not your ak. Right? This is Matthew 26 and 39. And he went a little further and fell on his face and prayed, saying, O Father, if it be possible, let this cup pass from me. Nevertheless, not as I will, but as thou wilt. And you can see it says what he fell on his face, man. Right? So he had his face down toward the earth. That's a submissive way of prayer. Now, again, are you wicked if you stand praying? No, it's not wicked. But by all means, man, right? If you have the ability to, you should be praying with your face toward the earth, man. And a submissive posture praying to Yahweh Shemel Shah. You don't want to be like this brother who's just standing up and just calling out everybody, man. Imagine praying to the Most High. Glad I'm not like that brother right there, man. That brother's so wicked right there, Lord. Do you see what this brother be doing? Did you see this brother right here, man, Lord? This brother showed up 20 minutes late. You gonna do anything about that? You saw me, I showed up on time, right? I gave my alms today, Lord. You saw that, right? This brother never gives alms. What are you gonna do about this guy? I tell you what, that brother, he's not gonna last too long in this thing, man, if you don't repent. Right? So you don't want to have that ability or that spirit like we've been going into where you despise others and you just boasting, just boasting about your works, man. Right? You want to get in there, King? You want to keep going?
Kyle, you can keep going.
Verse 12. I fast twice in a week. I give tithes of all that I possess. And there's nothing wrong with fasting twice in a week. There's nothing wrong with giving tithes, giving alms. There's no sin in that. But the wickedness comes behind your lack of sincerity, your intentions of why are you even bringing that up? It has nothing to do with anything, man. There are many things that you go before Yahweh Bashmer Shah before, and it shouldn't be about boasting about what you do. And that was his prayer. That was it, man. Probably said amen and he got up. Verse where he walked out. He couldn't even get up. He just probably shook his hands, called out this guy and left, man. It's a wicked, wicked act. Verse 13. And the publican, standing afar off, would not lift up so much as his eyes unto heaven, but smote upon his breast, saying, God be merciful to me, a sinner. So he had his head down to the ground. Right? A lot of brothers, you stand up at the firmament trying to figure out where the Most High at, talking to the Lord, right? I'm looking at you, Lord, right now. Right? I got a big idea. But you all looking up at the, and you don't even look. Some brothers, you don't even look at your parents in the eyes sometimes, right? Your pops, you know, he looking at you, got a stern look. You might be looking down, kind of to the ground, to the side, man. Some of you Jakes, you don't even look your so-called boss in the eye, man. You're looking at your shoes or kind of figuring out what's going on. But you trying to just pressing out the Most High. You can't press out the Most High, man. This brother wouldn't lift up so much as his eyes to heaven, but he smote upon his breast, right? Which is really what? Going into like a sign of affliction, of humility, man. That were nothing. That's why brothers they wear sackcloth. That's affliction. It's an uncomfortable state. So that's what smoting upon your breast is about. Saying, God be merciful to me, a sinner. You got it, King.
Khan, I want to get a quick precept real fast going into that. That kind of came to pass in the scriptures. Judah chapter 8 and verse number 12, they was trying to press out the Lord, man. To make the Lord do something in the amount of time that they wanted the Lord to do it in. Right? I mean, you can't make the Lord do what you want him to do when you want him to do it. Right? He's not a genie. Right, this is the book of Judah, chapter 8 and 12. And now, who are you that have tempted God this day and stand instead of God amongst the children of men? And now, tell the Lord Almighty, but ye shall never know anything, for ye cannot find the depths of the heart of man, neither can you perceive the things that he thinketh, right? Then how can you search out God that have made all these things and know his mind or comprehend his purpose? You may be praying for the Lord to do something for you, hey, but guess what? You're judging, right? You're getting destroyed, right? Because it's something you did last week, right? So, I mean, you don't know the mind of the Most High. The Most High could be breaking you down just to build you back up again, right? I mean, there's many things the Lord could be doing. The Lord could be testing it and strengthening up your faith, right? The Lord could break you down to build you back up like the potter's clay in Jeremiah, the 18th chapter, right? The Lord could be judging you on things that you did 2, 4, 5 weeks ago that you never even repented for, right? The Lord said, a wise man's heart discerneth both time and judgment, right? But that's only but so much. It says, in his mind or comprehend his purpose, nay, my brethren, provoke not the Lord our God to anger. For if he will not help us within these few days, he have power to defend us. And that's the type of spirit you have to be in, an optimistic spirit to know that the Most High, if it pleases him or moves of him, that's what he going to do. But you can't bound the Most High and try to make the Most High do something when he will, even every day, or to destroy us before our enemies. Do not bind the counsel of the Lord our God. Right? It's the same spirit as that man was moving in. Right? Like, it's of my righteousness is what I want. Thinking I'm like this other man. Real proud. Can't come to the Most High in a proudful spirit. For God is not as man, that he may be threatened. And that's wicked to try to threaten the Lord, man.
It's wicked.
Evil. Try to threaten the Lord, man. If you're really the Most High God, XYZ. Right? We done seen brothers firsthand put their middle fingers up to the Most High camp. Right? I mean, curse his servants, literally. Right? Then all type of things, and we know that the Most High could do what he want, and he reserves judgment for that man. And we're not going to be, well, the Most High isn't real because he didn't strike him dead right then and there. No, the Most High may have a slow and painful death for that man. Or that man may repent, right? So, I mean, it's a lot of things going on. You really don't know the mind of the Lord. Certain people getting hit by cars and, electrocuted. It says, neither is he as the Son of Man, that he should be wavering. Therefore, let us wait for salvation of him and call him to help us, and he will hear our voice if it please him. That's the point. If it please him. The Lord said in, I believe, Job chapter 9 and verse 2, right? If you contend with the Lord, you cannot answer him out of 1,000 words, right? Paraphrasing greatly, right? Or out of many words. So you can't go against the Most High and contend with him as if he's going to answer you. What you got?
Yeah, the Most High do what he want to do, man. Tell you in Revelation, the 4th chapter, to add to that, for his pleasure, everything, for thy pleasure, they are and were created, paraphrasing. Revelation, it's like at 4 and 11. Revelation chapter 4 and 11. Thou art worthy, O Lord, to receive glory and honor and power. For thou hast created all things, and for thy pleasure they are and were created. So you were created for the pleasure of the Most High. Everything, every spirit. The Lord said he made, the Lord hath created all things for himself. Yea, even the wicked for the day of evil, in Proverbs 16 and 4. All things have been made for the will of the Most High. He didn't make man for man to boast about what man does. You was made for the Most High. Because it pleased the Most High to make you, man. And the Most High could take things away. He could take you out just like he brought you in. The Most High has done many terrible things unto many men, man. And many mighty blessings and performed many miracles for men. So the Most High has to be feared. And it's a beautiful thing to pray that the Most High increases that fear towards you, man. Or that you increase in fear toward the Most High, rather, should I say. Right? Because the more fear you have of Yahweh Ba'asham Shai, the less inclined you're going to be to go astray from the Most High and these scriptures, man. The more you fear the Most High, the more humble you're going to be. The more you fear the Most High, the more you're going to pray. The more you fear the Most High, the more you're not going to lust or entertain thoughts and wickedness, concupiscence and lasciviousness, the old man, and all manner of drunkenness and confusion. And what does it say? It says, O Lord, Slaki, thou art worthy, O Lord, to receive glory, honor, and power. Now, there's nothing wrong with a brother might do something. You might say, all praises, brother. You did this, you did that. But that brother should say all praises to the Most High. Because the Most High, he gets all the honor and glory. Right? A brother can't praise you for doing something, anything, man. And you say, yeah, I've been kind of, doing my thing. I've been studying a little bit longer. That's how I'm able to kind of do this. Right? Brother never said all praise to the Most High. He's not even thinking about the Most High. He just wants glorification of man. He wants man's glory all over him, bro. It's always all praises to Yahweh Ba'asham Yahushua. He's worthy to receive glory, honor, and power. Because man wouldn't have any honor if the Most High didn't give him any honor, man. The Most High gives man honor. The Lord gave David a name. The Lord gave Abraham a name, man. The Most High does these things, and the Most High could take your name away out the earth. Right? But you got it, King. I don't know if you're on mute.
Salaki. Right? That's why we got to be humble, meek, and lowly before the Lord. Right? Because at any given time, the Lord said, I'm going to get this last quick precept. Right? In the book of 1 Corinthians, chapter 10. And I'm going to start at verse number 12. Right? It says, therefore, let him that thinketh he standeth take heed lest he fall. Because we all think we stand. Most High willing, we will continue to stand and will continue to be rooted in the ground. But the Lord said, let him that think he standeth take heed, meaning beware, lest he fall. Right? So there's no, you get over the 8-month hurdle of the truth and now you're solidified. Or you get over your first 4 years and now, it's clear sprinting to the finish line. It's a lot of elders that fell out the truth, man. Right? It's a lot of ancient men that fell out of the truth. Now, how long was certain men in the faith before they turned on Yahushua? Look at the disciples that turned on the Lord when he started speaking in the book of John, the 6th chapter, about his blood and eating the bread and his body. You know, a lot of them turned back from him. Now look at the book right of Matthew, the 26th chapter. His disciples fled. So certain things happen. You may think you stand with. Look at Peter. Peter said, "I would not deny thee." Right, but what did Peter do? He denied the Lord. Right, he granted them mercy to repent. But nevertheless, we think we're one place, but in tomorrow we could be somewhere else. Right, whether the Most High gives us granted mercy to come back to him or not, right, we don't know. That's why we got to take heed, you know, and not get too comfortable in this thing. All right, but you add something else, King?
God, I was going to finish Luke the 18th chapter where we
Okay.
left off. Right, this is Luke chapter 18 and verse 12. I fast twice in a week. I give tithes of all that I possess. And the publican standing afar off would not lift up so much as his eyes into heaven, but smote upon his breast, saying, God be merciful to me, a sinner. Right? And that's beautiful within itself. I tell you, this man went down to his house justified rather than the other. For everyone that exalteth himself shall be abased, and he that humbleth himself shall be exalted. Right? And you don't want to be a fake humble too. You got a fake humble, right? Oh, brother got his head down, he hang it down low, and it's fake humble, but he really eating it up. Brother, you did this, you did that, you did, you know, all praise to the Most High. But in his mindset, man, I'm so mighty, man. How great am I? You can't be fake humble, man. Either you're sincerely humble or you're not, man. Then the brother go down and he write down all of the great things that man said about him. And he puts it in his journal with the date on it, with the brother's name. This brother said, I was so great because I did this. This brother said, that's a weird bug out brother, man. Right? Who goes down and he writes down all of the great things that he did that man praised him for. You have to be sincerely humble, man. And you'll be justified in the eyes of the Most High. And if you exalt yourself, the Most High is going to crush you and bring you down. Right? So, you know, a brother that might exalt himself is a brother that say, I know I parted 144,000, man. Right? I just know it, man. The way I just feel it, man. The way I move, the way I walk, right? The way I look, I know I'm part of 144,000. I just know how I move. That's a very wicked, proud spirit to have, man. So that's another thing to pray that the Most High brings about the spirit of humility in you, man. Humility and the fear of the Most High goes a long way in this truth. But you got it, King.
Khan is right. And that made me think of when Samuel passed before Jesse's sons, right? And they were all tall, strong, right? And the Lord wasn't requiring those men, right? He wanted David, right? The youngest, right? The smallest, and raised them up, you know, to make him king. Right? So the Most High is not impressed with your height. Saul was more taller in stature than them all, man, right? But nevertheless, the Most High is not dealing with that carnal type of mindset or what man sees. He's dealing with what's on the inward. Right, but you had anything else, Ken? Okay, Con, I'm gonna get Revelation chapter 3, right, in verse number 2. Right, and it reads, it says, be watchful and strengthen the things which remain that are ready to die. Right, and this goes into what? Right, really the Lord's talking about the church. Right, so I mean, looking at it on every fold, whether that's your household, it all boils down to a body. The church is a body. Right, you and your household, y'all collectively one flesh. Right, you understand in your spirit with all of the spiritual gifts the Lord gave you. Right, whether it be counsel, reading, all of these different things, praying, all of these are gifts that the Lord gave you. Strengthen it up, right? Before the Most High take it away. For I have not found thy works perfect before God. Remember, therefore, how thou hast received and heard, and hold fast. And a lot of people are getting tricked and bewitched and overthrown by doctrines in the last days. So what you were rooted in this truth, you got to look at it on a spiritual level. You were rooted in this truth with the foundation the Lord gave you. To change that is to uproot yourself and plant yourself again. The Lord already planted you. You already gained all of this knowledge with the name Yahushua, with the name of Yahweh, with this doctrine, with the true understanding. Don't uproot that and plant it in something else, because you're not going to last long. right? Remember what the Lord has given you, what you have received and heard, and hold fast. Meaning, don't let it go and repent. If therefore thou shalt not watch, I will come at thee as a thief, and thou shalt not know what hour I will come upon you. Right? So you got to keep watch, because at any given time, World War III could kick off, right? False flag, right? Anything could transpire, and you want to be on the edge of your seats watching. You don't want these things to hit you like a thief in the night.
That's right. That's right. And I'm gonna stay in the book of Revelation. I'm gonna go to Revelation, the 22nd chapter, and verse 12. Revelation 22 and 12. And behold, I come quickly, and my reward is with me to give every man according as his work shall be. So things are happening fast, man. Things are moving fast on the earth. They just put out the draft. Anybody from the age of 18 to 26, you enlisted just like that in the army, man. You got warships off the coast of Cuba. You got nations ditching the dollar. You have technology increasing on the earth to the detriment of man. Missile launches being done on the earth. Nations forming alliances. NATO being pushed closer and closer to war with Ukraine every day, man. All hell is really breaking loose. You just had a blood moon right after Pentecost, man. I believe that was that was the day of Pentecost. It was a blood moon, man. So you have signs that the Most High is put on the earth. You got chariot sightings. We saw a few chariots on the night of Pentecost flying over the congregation, man. You have signs in the heavens. You have signs in the earth. You have blood, fire, pillars of smoke. And the Lord said that his reward is with him, which is what we've been going into, man. Everything that the prisoner is going through, right? You're going to get that reward, which is the kingdom of heaven, right? The man that sighs and that cries, the man that is the elect, man. That's vexed with the filthy conversation of the wicked. You're going to get that reward, man. You're going to have a promised land. You're going to have the land divided by lot to you. You're going to have your inheritance with your household, man. Chief of your tribe, chief of your fathers, man. You're going to have your oxen and your slaves, and you're going to dwell safely under your fig tree, man, with your staff in your hand. And you're going to have a crown on your head, and you're going to rule over many cities, man, and be in the government of Yahweh, to give every man according as his work shall be. You're only going to get that if your works can answer for that, man. If you have the works, which is really a sign of your faith, right? And the works are manifold, man. The works is actually teaching your people, building them up. We read about Epaphras, who labored, and part of his work, he labored fervently for the churches, man. That's something else brothers could do, man. That may not be out there teaching or headstrong as an evangelist. You can also do those things, labor and prayer. That's work. Sisters could do work, man. Make garments, give alms, make dresses for sisters, teach the younger women. There are many things that we can all do willingly to magnify the name of Yahweh by Hashem Yahushua, right? But with that, I'm going to close up, giving, of course, our honor and our glory to Yahweh by Hashem Mashiach Wamalak Yahushua. Most High willing you edified, Brother Naquam.
Shalom, Brother Right.
Kwam Yasha. Shalom.